everyone. Today we're going to do substitution. So this is grade 9, lesson 2. Please also make sure you're going through the lesson on your Moodle page and doing all the practice problems, and then you can do your learning guide. Your learning guide is kind of like your test to make sure you know it before the test. So you do your learning guide after you've practiced lots. Okay, substitution. Start with a fairly simple equation like this, 2x plus y. In substitution, we can put they're going to tell you what the letters are. So 2x means 2 times x. So whatever number we put in, we're going to multiply and then plus y. So let's just start with 1 and 2. This means when I have x equals 1, that means every time I see an x, I'm going to put in a 1. And then y equals 2, instead of having a y, we're going to put in a 2. So this is 2 times 1, 2 plus 2, which is 4. Now I could have the same equation. So that was x equals 1, and y equals 2. I could have the exact same equation, but they could ask you to go x equals 3 and y equals 5. So this time, even though it's the same equation, I'm going to get a different answer because I have x equals 3 and y equals 5. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 5 is 11. So that's substitution. Now let's do a couple other examples. (25) minus w times y in the brackets. This is pretty similar to a question in your learning guide. I just switched the numbers a little bit. Now, here's the interesting thing. We have brackets, so we have to do that first, but we would be doing the w times y first anyways because multiplication comes before subtraction. Sometimes, yeah, so there are brackets, but they are unnecessary in this equation. I just included them because that's the way it is in your learning guide, and that's okay. Sometimes there's extra brackets. So they have w is -6 and y is 5. Going to rewrite the question. And instead of w, oops, I meant to highlight it. Instead of w, we're going to put -6. Wow, I didn't mean for that to happen. So w turns into -6, and our y here turns into 5. We do that first because multiplication becomes before subtraction, and brackets you have to do first. So this is -30. 25 minus -30. Minus a negative, you can think of that as addition because subtracting a negative is the same as adding. And the answer is 55. (25 plus 30 is 55. Next. Let's do a couple more variables. So p minus 5 minus m plus q, bracket, m equals 2, p equals 3, and q equals 4. First thing, let's sub these in. So I have a p here, And instead of P, I'm going to put 3. Minus, and I have bracket. 2 sets of brackets, that's interesting. So we have a 5 minus, and then we have an M. Instead of M, we're putting 2. And then we have a Q, and instead of Q, we're putting 4. So there's a lot of brackets here. You go to the innermost brackets to do them first. And I'm just going to rewrite 3 minus 5 minus 2 plus 4 is 6. And I can actually get rid of the brackets once I solve that. And now we're in these brackets. So 3 minus 5 minus 6 is negative 1. I'm still going to have brackets around this because it's a negative number, and I just want to clearly show that it's a negative number. This 3 minus negative 1, which is the same as adding, and the answer is 4. That's kind of a fun question. One more. Four times W minus 3 times Y over 5 minus W divided by Y. Oh, bracket. Okay, so we're going to make W3, and we're going to make Y2. So every time we see a W, we're going to rewrite this and put 3. And every time we see a Y, we're rewriting and putting 2. 4 times, instead of W, I'm putting 3 here, minus 3 times, instead of Y, I'm putting 2. And on the denominator, instead of W, I'm putting 3. And instead of Y, I'm putting 2. Wow, okay, so let's solve this question. Looking at the denominator first, multiply left to right. So we get 12, and then the next is 6. And then on the numerator, on the bottom, we're doing the brackets first. Also, division would come first anyways. Uh-oh, I made up this question. So now we're going to get some decimals. That's okay. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So 5 minus 1.5. That's what happens when you sometimes make up questions, but that's okay. And now simplifying the top, I get 6 divided by 5 minus 1.5 is what? So 5 minus 1 is 4, and then minus 0.5 is 3.5. This, I'm going to divide this, so I get 6 divided by 3.5. It's going to be a decimal. 7.1, oh, sorry, 1.714. So I want to the nearest tenth. I look at the number before. This is a 1, so we just leave that at 1.7. And there you go. Order of operations. Have a great day.